I'm Reverend Bob Renjilian, for those of you here for the first time, and I welcome you to the Unitarian Universalists of Transylvania County, and welcome back all of our regulars and irregulars and everybody else. Thank you for being here. We have arranged the chairs as best as we can. One of the wonderful things about running our chalice camp is when they clean up, they take up most of the blue tape that shows exactly where each row goes. So it may not be what you normally have as an alignment of where you sit, but I'm glad you're here, and we have all the right seats, and it never hurts to have a slightly different angle on things. There you go. Yes, we're bringing the bell back. We had set it aside for a little bit. We were ringing it disrespectfully, and we had a mallet that was meant to have it sing, not be whacked with. We have a nice soft mallet that we can use now, and I will be trying, and hopefully the other worship associates will be trying, to give it a nice ring and let that sound just lead us into worship. So I did it before we greeted each other in our worth and dignity, and I'll do it again just as John is about to play. And John, when you can't hear the bell anymore, you go ahead and start the prelude. Some of you may still be hearing it, but that's the person who needs to take the cue. For those of you, here are a few announcements. For those of you who missed the Asheville Gay Men's Chorus concerts on Friday and Saturday, I'm here to tell you there will be another chance at the Henderson UU Fellowship on July 11th at 4 p.m. And we'll see about getting a poster in the social hall bulletin board between now and then. But it's one of those ways in which we can connect with our fellow Unitarian Universalists in the nearby county and take part in cultural activities. Super Sunday is next week, and we've got 3 soups on the sign-up sheet in the lobby so far. A shrimp bacon soup, a delicious soup, ingredients not yet determined, and a cold cucumber soup, along with a pasta salad and bread. So please, if you can, go out to the counter during coffee hour and add more of what you might want to bring along next week. Let's see. Oh, we also, for those of you who are sitting on this side, and when our choir comes back, we have, everybody turn around and look up, a better way for those people to read things. And Catherine is pointing to Doug, who helped with the scaffolding and everything else. I have been, it took 7 actual gendered men, yes, to do this. Other genders would have been welcome, but that's it, who showed up. Yes, okay, to put. No, RK was management and directing it all. So now people on the wings have a better chance of reading everything that ends up on the screen. So thank you. Thank you so much to all who made that happen. All right, now let's see if I can do this bell and help us follow its sound and the wonderful music of the prelude into our worship together. I'm going to do it better. There, better.
The chalice lighting will be words of Dr. Ian Ellis Jones from the Australian and New Zealand UU community. And we're going to speak them in unison. We light this chalice, a living symbol of the one life that animates and sustains all things,
and all persons.
the one life in which we all live and move and have our being, and the one life which perpetually gives itself to itself so as to become the many. By means of the light of the truth and reason and the warmth of fellowship and compassion, may the many come to know themselves to be not only interconnected with each other, but also indivisible emanations of that one great light which enlightens all life and which can never be extinguished.
As we light our candles of joy and sorrow, let's remember we are a community. We enter into this room, each of us, hoping for a chance of connection and understanding. I will read from what was given to me electronically and also what was written for this morning. I light a candle for Don Odell, who is having surgery at Mission Hospital and likely follow-up with his cancer doctors in Greenville. This is a candle of hope and healing. I light a candle of thanks to Kevin and Tricia and so many volunteers who helped our Chalice Camp succeed this year. Thank you. And a candle from Susan Slocum. Please light a candle for my daughter-in-law Elizabeth, who just had surgery for endometrial cancer. And let's light a candle. Oh, you have one, Randall?
Sorry, I forgot to do the thing, but it's on my heart. The people who are in charge right now, I'll say Pete Hegseth has determined that Universalists, you are no longer allowed to be on the dog tag in the military. And that's a sorrow.
Sorrow that Unitarian Universalism has been removed as a religious designation in the military. And let's light a candle for all those things not yet shared, held in the hearts of those here in this room or those who are watching us online. Spirit of love and life, may the light and the glow and the warmth of these candles be a prayer from us, a prayer not outward only, but within as well, to warm our hearts, give us courage to reach out to one another, that we do not feel so alone in this world, that we are interconnected. It is indeed the sharing of this light which helps us in the one light. Blessed be. Amen.
Good morning. I'm Janet Eckhoff, and I'm the worship associate for today. When Reverend Bob shared the sermon topic, I spent some time thinking about the many religious traditions that have shaped human understanding. I also had a little help organizing these thoughts into words. The ideas, however, are ancient ones, that people across time and place have wrestled with the same profound questions and that we can learn from one another's journeys. Today's call to worship. The world's religions are many. The human longing behind them is one. Across deserts and mountains, through temples, churches, mosques, and synagogues, forests, rivers, and quiet rooms, people have asked, how shall we live? What is sacred? How are we connected? Today we gather not to seek one final answer, but to listen deeply, to learn from many voices, and to celebrate the unity that can exist within diversity. Let us worship together. And those of you who can stand, please stand for the hymn, number 89.
Good morning. My name's Kevin, and this is the Wisdom for All Ages story. And today's story comes from A Lamp in Every Corner. It's our Unitarian Universalist storybook by Janine K. Goschmeyer. Well, there once was a little village in the country of Transylvania. Not our Transylvania here, but across the ocean in Europe. And in this little village, there lived all Unitarians. And these Unitarians, they wanted their own church so they could worship in their village. So they came together and started laboring long and hard to make this church. And the stonemasons cut the blocks that had become the foundation. And the lumberjacks and the lumberjills, they cut the trees and built the walls and built the rafters and put a roof on it. And the carpenters came in and they made the pews and carved the doors and set those in place. And the glazers came and made the little windows to set into the walls. And they worked for a long time till finally their church was ready. And they all gathered around it to examine it and to be so happy and so proud of what they had done. For they built this simple little church for themselves on the hill above their town. And then an elder said, well, let's go back to our homes and let's eat our evening meal and then let's all come back together and we can worship for the first time in our church. So they all went along their way, except for a little girl named Zora and her father, who enjoyed just a simple meal out on the grass out front of the church. And then Zora started getting up and walking around and examining the church from every angle and so happy in it, and went and looked inside and saw all the insides. But she looked up and saw the iron hooks in the walls, and there are no lanterns there. And she was very worried, and so she came to her father and said, Father, What will happen? For we don't have any lanterns in the church. And where will the light come from for the people to be here tonight?" And the father said, "Well, let's see." So he rang the bell, and that called the people all to come to worship. And in the dusk that was coming down as the sun was setting over the mountain, the little girl saw lights coming from each of the homes being carried by the families up to the church. And all those lights came up and gathered together and came into the church and illuminated the church from the inside. And the father said, "See, my daughter, the people bring the light into the church." And then they had their worship service. And once it was all done, the people started picking up their own lanterns and taking it back out. And the father said, "My dear, the people carry the light from the church back out into their lives. And each of those lanterns will go into their homes and will light their home with light of truth and of love. For you see, all of us bring the light with us into the church, and all of us take our light out back. And the light of truth, it speaks in our minds and tells us what is right for us. And the light of love is in our hearts and tells us what we need to do in the world. And so let's remember to bring that light back from this place out into the world and to see what's right and to do what's right to make the world a better place." Thank you.
Indeed, we do. We bring our own light into here, and we go out into the world with our light. We've done it in the ways we've volunteered in community. I had somebody email me last weekend and say, "What do you do in your congregation for social justice and helping in the community?" And I just rattle off a bunch of the names of places that we help and take part in activities. And I said, and we partner with various groups as well. We don't just keep what we have in here. What we do, the best of what we have, goes out into our community. This point in the service is our collection, our offering, our chance to dig deep, find something in your pockets to go out into the world as something of your light. And I've told this joke before, and I'm going to tell it again because I actually have the exact right denomination of bill here. So as a dollar bill and a $20 bill arrive at the bank to be counted and deposited, they talk to one another. Say, "Where you been?" And the $20 bill says, "Well, first I went to the gas station and got a whole gallon of gas. And then the gas station owner used me to go out and get some pizza. And then when the pizza person then went and got something as a gift for her kids. So dollar bill, what did you do?" "Church." Give some religion to $20 bills. If you put it in the basket, it goes to the good works of this congregation. If you put it into the envelope, it goes to SAFE to help those for support, prevention, and outreach for domestic and sexual abuse. We will now gratefully receive the morning offering. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Nat. What's given in love we receive with great joy. Thank you. 20. 20. I invite you, whatever traditions have taught you about the centering moment we call prayer and meditation in this service, in whatever ways you have some conception of being connected, calmed within, connected without, this is the moment to take those deep breaths, to ground yourself, their feet on the floor, to enter into this time of prayer and meditation. Spirit of love and life, we who are gathered here today bring with us many conceptions. Some of these might be called God, Goddess, nature, the universe. It may be something of truth with a capital T or light with a capital L. We come knowing and seeking both. For when we get together, we are inspired to bring our own light into this space and to share in the illumination that others bring to us. Spirit of love and life, for this we are deeply grateful. Some of us, on this day known as a Father's Day, also think about those who have helped parent us along the way, giving us life instruction. Sometimes those instructions did not fit. Sometimes we did not understand until we were old enough to find ourselves repeating them in our minds, enrolling them in our minds and our hearts in ways that we could not have grasped. Some of us are wounded by the ways in which we were not cared for, parented. But in all, let us honor those who have stepped in our biological families or our chosen families, who have guided us, who have helped us, who have loved us and accepted us. It is said that we are loved and accepted divinely, that we are children of the holy. In whatever ways we call out in our prayers, may we know in our hearts the wonder and the beauty that each of us might bring into this world, if only we did know and remember with assurance we are all valued, supreme beings. These and the prayers of our hearts and the meditations of our minds we hold now in the silence. In the names of all those known and unknown, remembered and forgotten, in the names of all the helpers of humankind, we say, Amen. Blessed be. The reading for this morning is from a book called The Sufi Message of Hazrat Inayat Khan. I hope I pronounced that correctly. He lived over a century ago. He died, and this was volume 9 of the Unity, subtitled Unity of Religious Ideals. And he writes with the gendered language of the time, but it's not to be heard limited that way. I will read some of the highlights of this and its wisdom. Universal worship, which has been organized in the Sufi movement, was the hope of all prophets, the prayer and the desire of all great souls, that the light given in all the different forms, such as the Buddhist scriptures, the Quran, the Bible, or the teachings of Krishna or Zarathustra, should be known by everyone. The work of the Sufi message is to spread the unity of religion. It's not a mission to promote a particular creed or any church or religion. It's a work to unite the followers of different religions and faiths in wisdom, so that without having to give up their own religion, they may strengthen their own faith and focus the true light upon it. Instead of doing as the theologians in colleges who only want to find what is the differences between Moses and Buddha, one should look behind all religions to see where they unite, to find out how the followers of all the different religions can be friends, how they can come to that one truth. To say that the whole world must belong to one church, one religion, is as absurd as for all people to wear one kind of dress. The world would become uninteresting. Let the people have churches, beliefs, faiths. Let them have different conceptions of things as long as they are brought closer to the realization of truth. Then they will naturally understand better. That is, it is true wisdom which is the real light, that it is the central wisdom which brings them together and which is the inspirer of humanity. There's a saying, to understand all is to forgive all, and that is in accordance with this saying that the Sufi looks upon life. But if someone asks the Sufi, you Sufis who tolerate all these different conceptions, what is your own conception? And they respond, there is no such thing as a Sufi conception, though I have my personal conception. The God who's considered by people as judge and creator, as Lord of heaven, is to me my beloved. He is my beloved ideal, who alone deserves all my devotion. He is all the beauty that is to be loved. Therefore, the Sufi establishes his relationship with God as the relationship between him and the beloved. His worship of God is the expansion of the heart. His love for all beings and for every being is his love for God. He cannot find anyone to love except God because he sees God in all. If his love is shown in devotion to parents, to wife, to children, if it is shown to neighbors or a friend or in tolerating enemies, the Sufi considers this as an action towards God. Whenever humanity touches the height of civilization, we see the divine manifested in a human being who in their life expresses God fully. To some, that great ideal has appeared, and they've called it Jesus Christ. In other parts of the world, among other races and other times, the same manifestation which human beings felt to be divine was called Buddha or Moses or Muhammad. People followed them, loved them, adored them, helped them in their difficulties. Through them, a certain way of living, a harmonious life, was given to their followers. One cannot make a common rule and say that this form is wrong and that form is right. One person will perhaps feel more exaltation in a form of worship which includes some art. It stimulates his emotional nature. Music, pictures, perfumes, colors, lights, all these have an effect on such a person. Another can concentrate better if there's nothing in the place of worship to catch his attention. It's all a matter of temperament. It's not wrong to prefer one or the other. We come to the realization, which we seek through worship, through devotion, that there is only one truth. For anyone who's ever reached it or ever will reach it is one and the same truth. Truth can be traced in all the great scriptures of the world and is taught by all the great ones who have come from time to time. Nothing, no community, church, or belief should keep one back from that realization in which lies the purpose of life. Verily, truth is the seeking of every soul, and it is truth which can save. So I got my tie on again, the one with all these religious symbols on it. Those of you who have asked from time to time when they see some of the new ties I've been wearing, have said, wow, that's a nice bright one, and it will be until I spill something on it. But in the meantime, this is what my kids got me, some great ties. And this one is the stained glass window for the Unitarian Universalist congregation in Rockford, Illinois. They decided they wanted a stained glass window that had symbols from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different world religions and a Unitarian Universalist chalice in the middle. I have over here a stole that was given to me when I left my church of 15 years in York, Pennsylvania, in which they gave me a going away gift, and it has a Unitarian Universalist chalice, a Jewish Star of David, a fish symbol. I like the fish symbol. You know that there are some Christians who don't go with the cross. The cross was a Constantine thing. They liked the original message of Christianity when Christians were scared to declare themselves to each other, and so they might be standing on a beach and absent-mindedly seeming to draw an arc in the sand. And if it turned out the person they were standing across from was a Christian, they would draw an opposite arc, and it would make the fish. And they knew that it was safe to talk about their love of Jesus with that symbol. Did you know that? And then I have various other peace symbols and a yin yang and things that related more to my ministry in that congregation. But it's one of those things where Unitarian Universalists seem to have gotten it. And I would say that we don't always get it, but that there might be something to learn in the world's religions, and it doesn't really behoove us to think of just one way, but many ways. I'm going to have a poster put up on the screen, and I was torturous to Catherine and Doug in saying 5 minutes before the service began, I found a new image to put on the screen. And they plugged it in. And so here's our poster of various golden rules. And this particular one is from the Encounter World Religions Center, whose website I find to freeze up on my tablet. But fortunately, I was able to get this image. There are also ones that I've seen hanging in Unitarian Universalist congregations by Kathy Verigen, Golden Rule poster. Has more like yellow stripes going out as if it's sunlight going out in the circle. And even though we have an enormous screen, I can't read the little things, but I did find some of the ways in which the Golden Rule is found in different religions. In Islam, on one of the posters it says, none of you believes until he wishes for his brother what he wishes for himself. That's on Nawawi's 40 Hadith 13. Or the Quran 83, 1 through 6, pay, O children of Adam, as you would love to be paid, and be just as you would love to have justice. In Christianity, we know it as do to others what you want them to do to you, from Matthew 7:21. In Judaism, it says from the Talmud, Shabbat 31a, that which is hateful to you do not do to your fellow. And that is the whole Torah. The rest is commentary. Buddhism says, do not hurt others in ways you yourself would find hurtful. And Hinduism has, this is the sum of duty. Do nothing to others that would cause pain if done to you. Those are just a few. And you can see Confucianism, Baha'i. I knew somebody from college, a young woman from the Baha'i faith, and I was talking about Unitarian Universalism embracing this. And so that's Baha'i, to embrace everything like this. There are people out there who get this. And when the World Congress of Religions was held at I think the tail end of the Chicago World's Fair, but at least there at the midway in Chicago in the 1890s, organized in large part by Unitarians and other liberal religious folks, it was in fact a confirmation of a shift that had started in some ways in the ways in which a side effect of colonialism was that different scriptures were being translated into English, and they were seeing this exact ethical principle being repeated again and again. Now, colonialism then left those places with awful laws and things, including anti-LGBTQ stuff that got codified, even if it wasn't originally there for what natives on this continent may have called two-spirit people as being revered. And then we get English laws that come in that say, oh, no, that's immoral. But if you get down to the idea of what is it that would help us all live in the light, and that is, then maybe, as this Sufi leader said, maybe it's understanding that it's one light through many windows. Now, John Austin asked me to preach that sermon over at College Walk about a year or two ago at a Vespers service, that exact title, because many of the ministers asked to come in and preach at College Walk don't preach that way. There's only one way. Here I'm telling you the one way. And afterwards I heard, oh, it's so nice to hear messages that aren't about us preparing for death. Because apparently there are a whole lot of ministers who think if they're going to a adult community that really they just have to prepare you for death. And I'm thinking, my whole congregation is prepared for life. You know, they're still doing life right now, you know. How we walk with each other is often based on what we have as the root of our religious beliefs, the highest values that we have. Come my way, my truth, my life. When Vaughan Williams wrote the music for that particular poem by Herbert, it was a series of 5 pieces of music. And that one in particular, I thought spoke very well to lead us as a worship group into understanding, come my way, my truth, my life. And it speaks in language that is full of love and openness. It does not say, come my creed. It does not say, come the one path. It is, in fact, based on a religious saying from the New Testament, but it does not directly reference that. It could have been sung in many different religious settings, and indeed in just in society in general. In fact, we sang a version of it with the Gay Men's Chorus in our concerts the last 2 days as well. Beautiful music to bring people to a message of love, of seeking truth. When we, as Unitarian Universalists, forget to say this out in the open, we don't get to meet the people, as I did in college. Oh, you're from Baha'i. I'm Unitarian Universalist. This is what we believe. And the Baha'i saying back to me, well, that's what we believe. Now, she said, so why don't you become Baha'i? I said, well, you can come to the UU group anytime you want. But the beauty of this is when we remember this, and we remember to say it out loud to those that we are greeting, if we walked the Sufi way that was described in the excerpts that I said here, as Unitarian Universalists, if we walked in the ways in which the exemplars of the height of humanity walked, in including people and trying to gather people in ways that come to this idea of one light, many windows. If we did that, we might in fact find what has been measured by social studies in our communities, that even those who divide themselves between conservative and liberal politically, all put compassion as one of their highest values. But you can't get to compassion until you are able to speak in love to another human being. Because when we start our services in greeting one another, we are, in fact, encouraging what we hope you do when you get out in the world. The holy in me greets the holy in you. This unity in religious ideals is one that has made it possible for some people to speak religiously into contentious conditions, rather than using religion as a way of starting war. By knowing the value of each person. Back when I was a kid, it was on the Unitarian Universalist poster in our principles of the Unitarian Universalist Association. It said, we believe in the supreme worth of every human personality. Now that got changed into the inherent worth of every person, and then it got kind of mixed again in with our current conceptions. But that's a universalist idea. Small u and our capital universalism idea. We could say we're all children of God. We could say that we are all a part of the holy. The supreme worth of every human personality. If we walk with that, we are in fact walking the universal idea of religions. That we want justice as much for us as everyone else. That we want fair compensation as much for us as everyone else. That we want to live into that world which knows compassion. I'm happy when folks come here and realize they can do that. I have throughout time helped, as parents who are perhaps Christian and Muslim, or Jewish and Catholic, or whatever mix, say, I want my children to come to a place where they can learn that both our religions, the religions that we were brought up in, have value and teach good things. But if I go to my place of religion, it excludes my spouses. But here, that doesn't have to happen. I would say from the sound of it, it didn't have to happen within Sufi gatherings either. That it doesn't have to happen in other spaces. We're not the only ones. But we are an important space for that here. I watched as maybe a dozen kids and more, if you're counting the teen helpers, were drawing chalk outside my office this week on the driveway and doing jumping jacks on an nearly infinite jumping jack pattern. It started with what I remembered as a child, and then people added more blocks so that they were going all the way down, jumping on that. When our children are given the space to learn that they can be creative in this world, when they can be safe, where they can decide that, okay, well, this is what we've been taught are the blocks. These are the spaces we're allowed to jump in. And say, wait a minute, we've been taught we can add to that. We can switch it up. When they just creatively, out of their own being, decide they want to pick up a piece of chalk and invent a new game, they are in fact living into the permission of this universal truth. When we seek and are not bounded, when we seek in a way following a habit or tradition that works for us, but in fact embrace that others have a different way of doing it, when we are doing more than just toleration of one another, but inviting each other with a playful attitude, we are in fact stretching closer to the ideal. May it be so. I invite you to rise and sing our closing hymn. It will be on the screen. Sing out praises for the journey pilgrims we who carry on, searchers in the soul's deep yearnings, like our forebears in their time. We seek out the Spirit's fullness in the endless true and west. Look inside your souls, the kindling of the heart, find pilgrims new. Find a spirit always restless, find it in each mind and heart. Touch and hold that ancient journey, kindling for a new found truth. Stand we now upon the threshold, facing futures yet unknown. Far behind us, wayside hostel, built by those who knew wild roads. God, we ever sacred embers, carry in our hearts and hearts. Our closing words are from Robert Mabry Doss. For all who see God, may God go with you. For all who embrace life, may life return your affection. For all who seek a right path, may a way be found, and the courage to take it step by step. So against all the rules of the story read today, I am extinguishing our light. I'm not extinguishing yours. You carry that out into the world, back out into your homes, and then return again next week in love. Blessings on all.